Good morning, class. It is Tuesday, March 31st, and this is my fourth time making this video, so hopefully it works. So, for today, you're going to be learning about lines in math. You're going to be doing an assignment very similar to what you did yesterday. So after you've learned about the different types of lines, you're going to take pictures of examples that you can find in your own home, put them in a pic collage, and upload that to Seesaw. For reading, you need to be reading the article that I posted on your Google Classroom called Egypt, History and Mystery. You do not need to go online or use any other websites to find information about ancient Egypt. You'll have a question on your quiz. Your quizzes are always in the Classroom tab on Google Classroom in a folder called Remote Learning Quizzes, and it will have today's date. Your question will be a wrap. Remember, wrap means you need to restate the question, give an answer, and some proof from the text. For writing, you're going to be finishing your How Paul Elementary Could Be More Green. Your final copy is due April 3rd, which is this Friday. In science, you're going to take the information you learned about birds yesterday and the information you learned about mammals before spring break. You're going to create a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting the two groups and then submit that to Seesaw. For prep today, it is library. You're going to do the epic challenge. You're going to read a book to a member of or your whole family. This could include a pet, and post a picture of you reading to them on Seesaw. Upcoming assignments, you should have finished your book for your book movie project. You should also have finished the movie for your book movie project. You should start your digital presentation for the book movie project using Book Creator. That will be due April 10th, which is next week. Your final copy of How Paul Elementary Could Be More Green is also due this Friday, April 3rd. Here's an example again of what your book movie project should look like on Book Creator. Your first page of the project should be a title page letting me know which story it was that you are doing, and then it's the book versus movie project. Your second page of the book should be very similar to the third page. You're going to include this information: who the main characters are, who the minor characters are. A minor character is someone who's in the story, but they're not the most important people in the story. Should have a setting. Remember, setting is where it happened and when it happened. You should help me know what the problem is in the story, the theme, which is the lesson that is learned, and a summary of the story. You might find there's a lot of similarities in the two. The last page of your book creator should be a Venn diagram showing me what is the same, remember, which goes in the middle of your Venn diagram, and what is different between the two stories. All right, for math today, we're going to be learning how to identify different types of lines. This, again, just like yesterday's lesson, will help you more fully understand shapes. Here are a few examples that I found in my own house: some parallel lines, some perpendicular lines, and some intersecting lines. Parallel lines are two lines that run next to one another. These two lines never meet. Remember, lines go on forever, so no matter how long the line is, it can never touch. Here's a real-life example that you've probably seen in real life. We've got some train tracks, and train tracks, a single set of train tracks, are never going to cross one another. So these two train tracks would be considered parallel lines. I liked this picture in particular because there's other things that are running parallel to these train tracks. For instance, this white fence is running alongside those train tracks and never crossing it. It's parallel to the train tracks. Same with this wooden fence back here, also running parallel to the train tracks and the white fence. And the power line is as well. So parallel lines just mean they're running next to one another and they're never going to cross. This would be a good time to pause the video, take your iPad, take a photo of something that's parallel in your own home. All right, another type of line that you might come across are perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines cross one another, and when they cross, they create right angles. Yesterday we learned that right angles are when we have two lines crossing and they form what looks like the corner of a square or an L. You can see that here, or here, here, or here. These two lines crossed one another, and when they did that, they created several right angles. These would be considered perpendicular lines. I would like you to find an example of perpendicular lines in your own home. So right now would be a good time to pause the video and take a snapshot of something in your home that's running perpendicular. And the last type of line that we're going to be talking about today are intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are a lot like perpendicular lines. They're going to be two lines that are going to cross one another. The only difference is they don't have to cross and make 90-degree angles. They could cross and make any other type of angle. It could be obtuse or acute. So here I have a picture of some chopsticks that are doing just this. You can see these two are crossing. Right here we have some acute angles, very tiny. And then right here we have some large angles, which we would call obtuse. So since these are making both acute and obtuse angles and no 90-degree angles are present, these are what we would call intersecting lines. So again, I would like you to pause the video and take a photo of some intersecting lines that you can find in your own home. With all three photos of intersecting, parallel, and perpendicular lines that you have taken, I would like you to put that in a pic collage and upload that pic collage to Seesaw. All right, so again, for reading today, you're going to be back in the article that I posted on your Google Classroom called Ancient Egypt, History and Mystery. You will be using this article all week, and like I said before, you do not need to go outside of this article to find any information for your quiz questions. Make sure that as you read the article that you pay particular attention to the section on King Tut. That's what your question will be about. Why is he so important in today's world when he wasn't that big of a deal when he lived? Think about that as you read the article. And in science today, we've discussed this. You may need to go back to EPIC and reread the book Mammals and the book Birds if you didn't already. I know there were some of you who answered the questions without reading the book. It was kind of evident in the answers that you chose to give. So if you haven't read them, or maybe you're feeling a little bit forgetful, make sure you go back and read those books. After you've read the books, you're going to go to the app Venn. And on Venn, you're going to make a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting the similarities and differences between mammals and birds. You need 4 to 5 facts in each section of this Venn diagram. When your Venn diagram is complete, you will go to Seesaw and upload it so that I can see what you've learned about mammals and birds. For writing, you're going to be finishing up that essay on how Paul Elementary could be more green. Don't forget to edit. Always a good idea to have someone else read over it, or you to read to them, or them to read your essay to you so you can hear what your writing sounds like. When you've completed your essay, it does need to be typed into Google Classroom or Google Docs, and then on Friday I will post an assignment on Google Classroom for you to upload it so that I can read your essays. We're going to start something new called App of the Day. Each day you will be asked to spend a little bit of time on an app. The apps that I choose will probably be apps that I can monitor and check to make sure that you've been on there. I'm giving you ones that will help you practice the things that you're going to need to know. So I would like you to go on to iReady today and spend 15 to 30 minutes on there. You have password cards I sent home with you when we left for the break. If you were not there those days, your parent did come and collect it, and they have that card. It's laminated, which means it has that plastic outer covering on it. You will need to go on this app. It should start you all in different places based on how well you did on the iReady test. You're not taking that big, long, awful test. You're just doing some lessons. And if you finish early, there's some learning games on there that you can go and check out as well. Attempt to finish one lesson today if you can. Excuse me. And for prep today, we're doing library. Again, that's going to be that you do the EPIC challenge. Make sure that you read a book to someone in your family, a pet, or your whole family, and take a picture of that and post it onto Seesaw. This is always optional, the prep is, but especially if you don't have a lot going on during the day, it might be a great way to spend your time. Remember, I will be on Google Classroom from 8:30 to 3 p.m., and I'll answer your questions via text during that time. Also, you can meet with me live on the app Meet from 8:30 to 10 o'clock in the morning. For the code, you'll need to go onto Google Classroom. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.